to the Open Scoring MMA podcast. No secrets, no bias, just the real fight game. Let's get ready.
Welcome to Open Scoring MMA. This is episode 8 for June 27, 2026, your daily look at what's happening now and next across the world of MMA and UFC. Paddy Pimblett is making waves with his take on Ilia Topuria's recent loss, saying he doesn't think Ilia Topuria ever comes back the same after his defeat to Justin Gaethje at UFC Freedom 250. Topuria, a former two-division champion, suffered his first career loss when his corner threw in the towel at the end of the 4th round. This was a brutal fight, with Gaethje battering Topuria to claim the lightweight title. Paddy, ever the straight shooter, thinks this loss completely derailed Topuria's career, stating, and I quote, "I don't think Ilia Topuria ever comes back the same." This is a huge statement, especially considering how much of Topuria's career has been defined by his brash confidence. It's one thing to lose, but to have a fellow fighter question your mental fortitude after your first defeat? That's a whole other level. It's clear Paddy believes this isn't just a physical setback for Topuria, but a deep psychological blow that could fundamentally change him as a fighter. And honestly, when you lose your undefeated record in such a dominant fashion, especially after being so vocal, it's bound to mess with your head a little. The MMA community on Reddit is having a field day with this one, with tons of chatter about Topuria's future and whether Paddy's assessment is fair. It's definitely a hot topic. Adding to the conversation about Topuria's future, Bloody Elbow reported that Paddy Pimblett and Joe Rogan actually disagree on Ilia Topuria's chances of a successful comeback. While Paddy is clearly on the side of Topuria being fundamentally changed, Rogan might have a more optimistic view. This split among big names just highlights how significant that loss was. Topuria is currently in a recovery period, and it'll be fascinating to see how he responds to this kind of public scrutiny and doubt from his peers. Speaking of big news, Cris Cyborg is set to end her glittering MMA career on August 22nd. We're hearing she'll defend her PFL featherweight world title against Ketlen Vieira in what will be her final fight. Word is her farewell fight will be for PFL Tampa. Cyborg has been a dominant force in women's MMA for so long, and it's always a big moment when a legend decides to hang up the gloves. This is a chance for fans to see one of the all-time greats compete one last time, and you know she'll want to go out with a bang defending her strap. It's going to be an emotional night for sure. In other news, Georges St. Pierre is calling for Justin Gaethje to retire. Reports are circulating on this, with GSP suggesting that now that Gaethje can finally call himself the undisputed UFC champion, it might be the perfect time to walk away. GSP's point is that Gaethje has achieved the pinnacle of the sport, and sometimes it's best to leave at the top, preserving your health and legacy. It's a classic debate in combat sports. When is the right time to retire? For a fighter like Gaethje, who brings so much excitement and takes so much damage, it's a valid question. Conor McGregor is back in the headlines, and he's got a unique take on his 5-year layoff. Bloody Elbow reported that McGregor claims this extended break actually gives him a major advantage over his UFC rivals. He believes he's just entering his prime now, despite not having fought since breaking his leg during his trilogy fight. It's a classic McGregor move, spinning a negative into a positive. Most fighters would see a 5-year layoff as a massive disadvantage, but Conor, being Conor, sees it as a chance to come back refreshed and at his peak. We'll see if that holds true when he steps back into the cage. And speaking of Conor's return, MMA Mania reported that Charles Oliveira was skipped over as Conor McGregor's return opponent in favor of a Max Holloway rematch. We're hearing Conor McGregor's UFC return is coming up, and for a long while, his opponent was pure speculation. Oliveira, for his part, called it part of the game. It's a bit of a shame for Oliveira, who's been a dominant force, but a McGregor-Holloway rematch is a huge money fight and a banger for the fans. In a bit of a curious move, we're hearing UFC welterweight Ian Machado Gary has partnered with British boxing promoter Eddie Hearn. This comes ahead of Gary's next UFC bout. It's not every day you see a UFC fighter, especially one on the cusp of a title shot, partnering with a boxing promoter. It'll be interesting to see what this partnership entails and how it impacts Gary's career, especially with the title fight on the horizon. Could we see him dabbling in boxing down the line? Only time will tell. UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall is also making moves outside the cage. Yahoo Sports MMA interviewed him about the launch of his podcast, The Inner Game. Aspinall said it was important to get away from MMA for a bit, and he's been enjoying the novel experience of interviewing people like Louis Theroux and H. It's cool to see fighters diversifying and exploring other avenues, and a podcast is a great way for fans to get to know them beyond their fighting persona. It shows a different side of the champ. Looking ahead to the upcoming cards, we've got some exciting matchups on the horizon. For UFC 329, as we just mentioned, Conor McGregor's return is reportedly on the way, and we're hearing he'll be facing Max Holloway in a highly anticipated rematch. This card is shaping up to be a massive event, and the buzz around it's already palpable. Then for the PFL, we have PFL Tampa on August 22nd, which will feature Cris Cyborg's farewell fight against Ketlin Vieira for the featherweight world title. This is a must-watch for any fan of women's MMA, as we say goodbye to a true pioneer of the sport. And now, for our OSM pick of the day. Our system has crunched the numbers for the fight between Lavon Shokeli and Leon Shabazian. We've got Lavon Shokeli to win, with an approximately 82% chance. The betting line implies about 76%, so we're seeing some real value here. Our confidence is strong, and the top reasons are that form favors Shokeli and finishing favors Shokeli. This is a value pick, and we like it more than the market does. That's all for today's Open Scoring MMA. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for more breaking news and analysis from the world of mixed martial arts. Before you go, two quick things. Check out our free fight tracker at tracker.openscoringmma.com with every upcoming UFC and PFL card, live odds, and where to watch all in one place. And follow us on YouTube. Just search Open Scoring MMA for breaking news alerts, fight breakdowns, and videos you won't get here on the feed. That's it for today's Open Scoring MMA. Keep your hands up, and we'll see you next time.